Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Perspective. The AJK elections are scheduled to be held tomorrow. We've seen a full campaign from all political parties. All the main political parties have held their jalsas. There has been some fiery back and forth. We've seen back and forth comments coming from, we've seen Maryam Nawaz, Ali Amin Gandapur. There has been some controversy as far as the campaign itself is concerned, as far as the comments coming from the major political parties are concerned. What will happen tomorrow, of course, will determine as far as the position of the political parties are concerned in the AJK elections. The political narrative as far as Kashmir is concerned also came into some debate. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about the overall position of the political parties as far as the elections are concerned tomorrow. I have with me Ahmed Jawad, who's Central Secretary Information, PTI. Thank you for joining us today. Javed Rana, who's a senior journalist. Thank you for being with us. And Dr. Waqas Ali Kausar, who is a political analyst. Thank you for joining us today. Jawad Sahab, how do you see the situation in terms of, we saw what happened in terms of the campaign that was held in AJK. There has been some fireworks, I think it wouldn't be wrong to say, as far as the elections are concerned. But overall, how do you see the picture in terms of what will happen tomorrow? What is of course, we've seen how the Prime Minister is quite confident about the overall position of your party in the elections tomorrow. What do you think?
Maruf, first of all, the fireworks which you mentioned, yes, I think every election has fireworks. Even the fireworks are also in an election of America or India or anywhere. So that is, something which will always go on, because the political parties have to, they have to inspire their people, their followers, bring up their emotions, and so they have to make rhetorics also, they have to make slogans also. But I think talking about what is going to happen tomorrow in the elections, I think first of all, Gallup survey, which was released today, it has shown PTI clearly winning tomorrow's AJK election. And also Imran Khan emerging as the most popular leader with 67%. So it's also indicative of the results tomorrow. But at the same time, just keeping the Gallup surveys aside, if we just analyze the AJK election, I think it is just a repetition what happened in Gilgit-Baltistan. The factors behind Gilgit-Baltistan elections and now in the upcoming AJK election are quite similar. It is that two parties, PML and People's Party, they have been taking their turns ruling Gilgit-Baltistan and AJK for a much longer period of time. And people of Gilgit-Baltistan or people of Azad Jammu Kashmir, they have not been able to see any change in their lives, in their basic amenities, basic needs, infrastructure, health, education, and now they have an option. So just like in 2018 elections, people were fed up with the two parties for their performance and unable to give them any relief. So they gave a chance to PTI in 2018. So same thing was repeated in Gilgit-Baltistan, and now I am looking at a hat trick of such kind of reaction tomorrow.
You think that the same pattern will emerge here also?
Yes.
Right, let me come back to you. Javed, of course, there is a trend that whichever party is in power in the center generally is the party that wins in AJK also. That being said, do you think that it's as easy? I want to come to the crux of what the party position is as far as the AJK election is concerned. But before that, do you think it's as easy to dismiss what happened between the kind of crosstalk that we saw between Ali Amin Gandapur and Maryam Nawaz as saying that it's political rhetoric, or that it happens in all elections all over the world, things do get heated up? Or do you think that there is a need to tone this kind of culture down? There is a need now to perhaps more than ever before to call out where we're headed?
You very rightly pointed this out. We have replicated Pakistan's political culture onto Azad Kashmir. the region which has a cause to fight for, a region which need unanimous support from all political parties to fight against a bigger enemy, which is following a kind of ideology which does not understand a rational. Unfortunately, I think in these elections, apart from this political culture, the kind of the language that all political parties have been using against each other, I think the very Kashmir cause has been damaged. There are different statements coming from oppositions that the government wants to make it a province, regardless of the fact that on whether or not this is truthful or not. But I think what Prime Minister Imran Khan has said, that needs to be looked into.
Okay.
He said that one day, a day will come when there will be implementation of the UN resolutions, and you will vote for this to either side with India or with Pakistan. And after that, after you join Pakistan, we will give you another right to go for independence.
Okay.
I don't understand this,
Okay,
frankly.
let's discuss this. Let me come
I
back
don't
to it.
understand this because this needs a greater explanation.
Okay.
But going by what we see geographically, if Kashmir, for the sake of the argument, if Kashmir is an independent state, that means a time would come when the Kashmiri leadership would exercise its right. And there is a danger that the India, which has been looking for access to Afghanistan and Central Asian states, they will get an access to through Gilgit-Baltistan via
Okay.
Azad Kashmir.
Okay.
I think this needs to be understood that when such statements are made, we should be very much particular. That would also mean that Pakistan's another border would start with Murray, just 30, 40 kilometers.
Okay.
So I don't understand, frankly, the very rationale of this statement. And very important point, we should not forget that it is a long-held plan by the Americans. It has been so much debated, and General Musharraf was trying to follow it. And at one point of time, he said, we are ready to drop the UN Security Council resolutions. India did not accept it.
Right.
No matter what we do and how much we, I would say, drop our very genuine political stance on Kashmir, India would never agree on that.
Right.
And this government must learn lesson of what General Pervez Musharraf did. He was promised by the Americans that the Kashmir would be resolved, support us on Afghanistan. What happened? Nothing happened.
Right. Okay.
And
Let me come back to
the last point I
Ji.
want to make. You see, again, I would emphasize, Kashmir is a very important cause to the people of Pakistan and the Kashmiris. These kind of hugely important diplomatic issues should not be discussed on public forums, and it is also misleading because you may get a vote those segments of the Kashmiri society who want independence, but at the end of the day, Kashmir
not
would
the
suffer
narrative.
and Pakistan would suffer.
Right. Okay. Let me come back to you. I will let Jawad Saab answer this, but before that, Waqas Saab, do you think that I hope you've been listening to what Javed Rana Saab is saying. What are your thoughts on the narrative as far as Kashmir is concerned? Because we not only, I mean, we had all the political parties making statements about the Kashmiri cause. Do you think that it was done responsibly? Do you think that we seem to be on one page as far as Kashmir is concerned as a country? Even if we keep the issue of the AJK elections aside, what has that brought to the fore?
Thank you very much. I guess two important points are there. One is, I guess largely if we see during the narrative during this entire campaign, other than the issues that they've been speaking or trading barbs against each other, on Kashmir, I guess there has not been a very constructive debate. I mean, there has been a consistent argument of opposition parties of having a sort of an idea of whatever they call deal, and on the other side PTI has been saying a lot about highlighting Kashmir issue at internationally and particularly at UN. But if we see in past elections, I guess there's a difference right now. If we can observe, the fundamental difference is Kashmir is one of the issues, core issues, where the largely parties speak on the same lines about the fundamental political rights of people of Jammu and Kashmir, and particularly post 5th of August, of course, situation has changed, and that is why I guess this entire thing came into debate, but in a very depressive way, I must say. Importantly, what Prime Minister said the other day, I guess it has set a very high moral ground of Pakistan, an overall position of Pakistan. It's not about getting an independent state or something else. I guess it particularly is about the respecting the views of people that the Article 257 of the Pakistan Constitution says. I guess saying that the wishes and aspirations of the people, what Prime Minister the other day said about United Nations Security Council resolutions, I guess that is the core thing that we Pakistan has been championing. And the core idea of Pakistan is about enabling an environment and having an environment where people of Jammu and Kashmir can decide about their future.
You think
So I guess that should be
you
seen in
think that as
that
far as all the
perspective where
political parties are
Pakistan.
concerned, all the major political parties are concerned, they are on one page as far as the narrative of Kashmir is concerned, or do you think that there seems to be some sort of, it's not as uniform as one would like it to be?
No, no, I agree. Kashmir right now in this election, I mean, overall the Kashmir issue is one of the punching bags, I must say, where all the parties are trying to settle their scores against each
Punching
other,
bag is a term you
bringing
use.
this issue inside. I personally think there is one important point that we need to understand here. There is a specific context of the elections in AJK. There is a specific context of entire issue of Jammu and Kashmir. Here, when you take the narrative of mainstream political parties, the politics of maybe Punjab, Sindh, KPK, Balochistan, and taking this into the AJK is something very different, and I don't think so. People should have read the context. The problem here is different. The elections narrative and the content should have been different, and that is why people are not, I mean, I don't think so, trading these barbs, becoming too much, using the abusive language or the language which is quite different than the normal circumstances is welcomed by the people. I once again would say that there is a need to be more responsive and responsible on the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, where there is a greater consensus on respecting the wishes and aspirations of people.
Waqas Sahab, let me come back to you. Ji, Jawad Sahab, you think that there is need to be more responsive, less responsive and more responsible as far as the issue of Kashmir is concerned, and that applies across the board to all political parties?
In principle, absolutely. Everybody should be very responsible, and our response should meet the timings and the situation. One thing I would like to clarify, I twice listened to the speech of Prime Minister Imran Khan. I did not find any mention of United Nations holding plebiscite in Kashmir.
Okay.
What he said, and you may like to run that clip of Prime Minister Imran Khan's speech, he said that we'll have a referendum in Azad Jammu Kashmir, and we'll let the people to decide whether they would like to be with Pakistan or with India. And after that, we will have, जिसमें word he used, हम फिर एक और referendum करवाएंगे, in which Kashmiris will be asked whether they would like to live with Pakistan or they would like to be an independent country.
Okay.
So first of all, I think we should be clear on this thing, what exactly Imran Khan has said.
Okay.
And since this has been said for the first time by the Prime Minister, announced briefly, we can always wait for the structure or the format of the referendum, when it will be held, who will hold this referendum, what is going to be the dynamics of this referendum. Obviously, it will be structured. It is going to be obviously a very important thing if it happens. So we can wait for that, what exactly is going to be the structure of that referendum.
But do you see anything new about the statement that the Prime Minister made?
I would, Dr. Waqas, I think he also mentioned this point, that I see quite a sanity and rational in this. When we are looking at India, India is just doing an annexation of Kashmir, making an amendment in the constitution, sending its military into Kashmir, occupying and implementing curfew and digital lockdown and everything. And this is what their model of annexing Kashmir. On the other hand, what Imran Khan is presenting to the world, that what are our options? Our option, referendum, number one, whether the Kashmiris would like to, Kashmiris of Azad Jammu Kashmir, would like to be with India or Pakistan. Referendum two, we will ask again whether you would like to be with Pakistan and independent. So it's a kind of very democratic thought process which draws contrast with the policies of India, towards Kashmir. So I think it gives us some elevation.
But do you see it as a shift in our narrative, perhaps?
No, not much. I mean, the basics of our stance on Kashmir, according to the UN resolution, is plebiscite in Kashmir.
Okay.
So,
Javed sahab, do you agree?
but obviously there is a difference. If United Nations holds a plebiscite, that is something different because it is an international recognized. But we cannot say on behalf of, we cannot say anything on behalf of United Nations. We can talk about government of Pakistan, what government of Pakistan might like to do in Azad Jammu Kashmir.
Ji, Javed sahab.
It is understandable that Jawad Saab has to justify his party stance, but I think this is a very sensitive issue. Very sensitive issue in the sense that it is legally, it has already been decided. There will be plebiscite, you call it a referendum. This referendum that Jawad Saab was referring about cannot be held in Azad Jammu and Kashmir. It will be held in the entire valley, which is Indian part of Kashmir. So I don't know what does it really mean when he said that there will be two referendums. First would be in AJK, and the second there will be another referendum where Kashmiris would be given option to decide to stay with Pakistan or not. Does that mean that only Azad Kashmir is going to make that decision? So this, I think,
Yes,
it has to be.
If it is government of Pakistan, they can only talk about AJK. They cannot talk about occupied. We cannot hold referendum there.
Perhaps you are not aware. It's not legally possible. Under the UN Security Council resolutions, there has to be a referendum, plebiscite on both parts of the Kashmir. No other, if Pakistan does that unilaterally.
I think what Jawad Saab is saying is that
it's a comparison
that
between
it's
an
not
annexation
Pakistan
by
that
India
can
No,
actually
and
hold
it
it
is
this is a
referendum
stuff.
by Pakistan, which is very democratic.
Okay, Javed sahab,
This
let's
link
move
with the
on.
very sovereignty of Pakistan.
Right, okay.
And I think these issues should be discussed in a very, very serious manner.
Right.
Prime Minister should not have made that statement.
Let's move on.
publicly.
Javed-
By the way, let me, for the sake of the record, let me recall here that Prime Minister has said same thing in his interview with the foreign channels. So this is not the first time.
Okay.
But again,
Javed sahab,
that
let's move
also
on. I want
indicates.
to move on now. I think that I'm going to go to Dr. Waqas ji. Waqas sahab, overall, let's move on. I think he's not, I mean, there's a problem with his mic. Ji, Jawad sahab, let's move on. As far as the narrative of all political parties is concerned, as far as the position of all political parties is concerned, what do you think? I mean, of course, you're saying that it's likely that PTI, according to you, will, but in terms of performance, you think that this campaign was based on performance? You think that the speeches were based on performance? You think that the election overall was focused on which political party, the campaign was focused on which political party had perhaps done more work there, performed more, or something else?
Maruk, your question is pertinent that when political parties go to the election, they definitely need to talk about their past performance and they need to talk about their future promises or what kind of change they will bring in that area, in a country, in a province. So, I mean, principally it is right, but the kind of heated politics which we are seeing in Pakistan, whether it is in the parliament or in the talk shows or press conferences or on social media, I think the political culture in Pakistan, which was never so smooth, at the moment it is quite heated. And we got to see the same political culture when we go to Azad Jammu Kashmir, for the reason that yes, it is an election for Azad Jammu Kashmir, but it is the same mindset.
Right.
It is the same kind of
You said
culture,
it,
which it is the same political parties. So what they are doing in rest of the Pakistan, I mean, after the
They're going to do the same there.
after the beginning of, I mean, after the start of PDM, and since last 1 year, the kind of political tussle and the confrontation we have seen between the government and opposition. So obviously, it cannot happen. There is no switch that as soon as you go to Azad Jammu Kashmir,
It's going to
so
change.
everybody stop talking about what we have been talking about in Pakistan. So the reflection of the same culture and mindset will be seen in Azad Jammu Kashmir. But on the other hand, I think what opposition parties could do, they could talk about the performance of their past tenures in Azad Jammu Kashmir. PTI has never ruled Azad
And
Jammu
you could
Kashmir.
also talk about their performance, which you've done.
Yeah, we have done. I mean, we have to remind the public that what they have been doing. But they could talk about their performance, that if they have done something. I mean, they have ruled Azad Jammu Kashmir successively, turn by turn, over the decades. So, I mean, they could have a lot of meat for them to tell to the people that this is what we have done in Azad Jammu Kashmir. We are going for, I mean, if we make the government, it is going to be PTI's first government in AJK.
Javed Saab, before I go to Javed Saab, Jawad Saab, you know, overall we saw a lot of, as far as the election campaign is concerned, if we look at the jalsas, we look at the political rallies, I don't think it would be wrong to say that the PMLN, particularly Maryam Nawaz, managed to amass huge crowds. Do you think that is that particularly worrying for the PTI? You think that, you know, the PMLN is managing to get that kind of support there? How do you see the situation?
Maruk, jalsas, I mean, have never been the reflection of the election results in any election. I mean, there have been huge jalsas by political parties who subsequently could not win even a few seats in the general election or in any other election. So we cannot, you know, measure the results of election through the number of people in jalsas. But yes, we can study, we can carry out survey that what kind of trend. I mean, this is the way in the whole world the election results are predicted. They are not based on the number of people in a jalsa. They are predicted based on the surveys and the studies carried out by the research and think tanks, and Gallup has done similar kind of thing. They have been doing it similarly in the past as well, and some surveys have been against PTI and some surveys have been against opposition. But in Azad Jammu Kashmir, their surveys are telling a story of success of PTI. So on the other hand, like I explained you, that why I see a possibility, a very much possibility of PTI winning the elections, because it is the same pattern which the people of Pakistan has followed since 2018 elections,
that
they want to give
a
chance to a third political party, and especially when they have seen the two political parties have not been able to contribute much in their lives.
Okay. Ji, Javed Saab, you think that is the pattern that will be followed, or the pattern of having the same government here that will that is in power? What pattern do you think?
The same government in power, this pattern that whosoever is in federal government, it makes its presence felt politically in Azad Kashmir.
Because we saw some of the candidates of the PMLN with, you know, joining the PTI.
Exactly. Basically, pattern has always been, as we have seen once again, that the outgoing parties, people are joining a party which they believe is going to be the next political party. So there is obviously, like Pakistan, elsewhere in Kashmir, there is a similar mindset of the MPs that they have. And there's a huge money that is factoring in these elections. People switching over loyalty and joining PTI. And then again, the reason people would vote for for their candidates is more because of the local realities and less because of the national politics. Certainly that is also a factor, but again, this culture of this tribal mindset that we have in our society, we call it as a caste system. I think that is still prevailing in Pakistan's Azad Kashmir. But at the same time, I think money factor is also very important. There are tycoons who are at play now, and the way they are spending money on election campaign, that is a bit unusual, though this is nothing new. So I think again, PTI certainly is most likely to win these elections, but I would disagree, Jawad Saab, that it is not because of the performance of Tehreek-e-Insaf at center, because of which people would vote for the PTI.
No,
in
but he
Azad
said that it
Kashmir.
is because of, according to him, it is because they're tired of the other two political parties and now they want
I
to see
think
the same
that
change.
that factor is something which may be ignored. It is because of the fact that the kind of the culture that we've inherited, the influence that the federal government has
Okay.
on Azad Kashmir and then the election process, I think that would be dominating factor. But the point that he has made, we cannot ignore it altogether. That has also been there, and unfortunately, these both People's Party and PMLN, their credibility in Azad Kashmir and has not been so good. And again, when we talk apart from the top leadership and some of the senior leaders from on the both
But
sides,
why? It's a curious
other
phenomena.
people are shifting their loyalties.
I want to go to Dr. Waqas also with this, but why did the PMLN and even the PTI, we saw, you know, even PPP, the crowds were enormous. Why do you think that why is that such a
Again, independently we cannot verify, but there are some allegations
okay?
that some of the opposition parties are bringing crowd from outside Azad Kashmir.
Okay.
But again, we don't know.
Which opposition parties?
I think
particularly?
that particular allegation was leveled by the ruling party against PMLN.
Okay.
That some of the crowd was taken from Murree
Okay.
and it was taken to the Azad Kashmir and to make it look like a big rally. But I cannot independently verify, but this
Okay.
could be one such factor. But we should not ignore that the PMLN is not as unpopular as probably the ruling party would like us to believe.
Okay.
They have their vote bank, they have their party structure in Azad Kashmir, and probably they would make their presence felt, may not be at a level where the ruling party would do.
Right, okay. Fair enough. Ji, Waqas Sahab, you agree? You think that the PMLN has its own vote bank intact and that they may not win the election, so to speak, but they will perhaps give a tough time to the government of the day?
Yeah, precisely. There are two important things when it comes to this election, particularly two parties, Pakistan People's Party and PMLN. We need to understand one thing, that People's Party is the oldest party here in AJK, particularly came into being in 70s. They have their own vote base, particularly in some of the constituencies. They are very strong candidates. Likewise, PMLN, if we see, they have their some candidates because the local contest and culture, as one of the speakers was saying, that see here you don't have much more bigger party wise vote, but you have the vote of the people. Particularly you have the vote of certain personalities. So personality cult or the persona is more important thing. So those people who join parties like People's Party or PMLN, it's the party, less the party vote, more of their own vote as well. On the other side, when you see the new wave of the leaders from mainstream parties coming into AJK and the crowd size and all these things, I won't believe that this is the crowd.
That it's kind of unusual the way that the kind of money which Javed Saab talked about, the kind of money that is now being spent on the election of the in AJK.
To say one thing, there's a particular culture in AJK. There is no denial that a huge number of people attended the gatherings of PMLN, Mariam Nawaz, even for that matter Bilawal Bhutto as well. So if we see the culture of AJK, people come and participate. It's a politically very active and civically very engaged society that we need to understand. It has its own context, so people do that, attend those meetings, procession and all that. And Mariam, of course, when she entered into this campaign, she has impact, and she has of course gathered a lot of
but you're saying that people do come out, they do come out and they do take part in the rallies, but that doesn't necessarily translate into votes as far as the political parties are concerned.
Because there are two harsh realities we need to admit. See, AJK as a financially is quite dependent on Islamabad. So when the ministers from the Islamabad or the ruling party come and visit in the campaign areas, generally what is their narrative? Their narrative of development, their narrative is of development, spending money, announcement of different roads, linkages, networks and all these things. Though this is a harsh reality that of course they have a better chances to convince people. And on the other side, if you see the PTI right now in AJK, there are chances, of course, those who are in Islamabad, they have certain influence, but right now, if you see the PMLN, they don't have that sort of a performance record right now in their kitty that they can cherish and they can excel on that. On the other side, for the People's Party, if you see, they have substantially improved as far as they are not in the position of making government, but of course their candidates have also improved. But of course, there are fair chances of PTI. Sadly, there is one thing in this election, which is political finance, the involvement of money, which is there. And I guess this has also destroyed and sort of gave a lot of setback to AJK's political culture. There has been debates, there have been a lot of conversations on narratives, discussions. Parties were very strong. But over the period of time, we have seen that parties becoming very weak, individuals getting more strong, and over the period of time, we have seen that this is not very healthy for the political culture here. So I guess this is one of the point where all leadership need to think that this entire culture of maybe commercialization of politics won't work, because parties need to strengthen themselves and parties need to work around their own structures, institutions, so that a genuine leadership must come. One last thing I must say, if you read the manifesto of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, which is good, and the other parties as well, Pakistan People's Party and known PMLN as well, the fundamental question is, you hardly come across these manifestos point in their larger gathering and processions. And I guess that is the weak point, because the issues of people are very much local in nature. They are not very much concerned about the broader politics of these parties in the federal government, or what is their narratives on that. They're more concerned about their local issues of development, and particularly after these local issues, Kashmir is one of the core issues which is very much closer to the heart of people. I guess this was the missing link in the entire campaigning that we have witnessed of all parties across AJK.
Do you agree? You think that this is the way that, again, he's talking about the Kashmir narrative and how that is very close to the hearts of the people of the AJK, and that was a missing link?
Marukh, I think if we go back in last 2 decades, Kashmir has not been represented very well at the international level. And even during the Musharraf time, it was more about backdoor diplomacy. So there was hardly any mention of Kashmir on the international forums.
But you're happy the way that the present government at this time?
Yes. And so it was kind of a blackout. Internationally, Pakistan's narrative remained, disappeared on the international scene for quite some time. And by the successive government, I mean, whether it was Musharraf or it was Asif Ali Zardari and then PMLN, Nawaz Sharif. So you can just recall there was no talk about Kashmir. They would rather avoid taking name that perhaps it might upset Indians. So that is a change which we have seen when PTI government came. Prime Minister Imran Khan, he at every international forum, whether it is United Nations or whether it is visiting a country or hosting international leadership, he is talking about Kashmir. He is presenting Kashmir in a very effective, in a very strong way, and his stance against the Indian annexation has also been very hard. I mean, recently there was speculation about some backdoor diplomacy, and I think he came out very clear that there will not be any kind of backdoor diplomacy or any kind of negotiation with the Indians till the time the decision of annexation is not reversed. So I think his clarity and presenting the narrative of Kashmir, the stance of Kashmir internationally in a very strong way, I think it has attracted the imagination of a normal Kashmiri in Pakistan and all over the world.
Do you think overall, Javed Sahab, do you think overall things can change, or the Kashmiris expect things to change under any political leadership, whoever wins the AJK election?
To begin with, I would agree with him, because the way public diplomacy was conducted during last 3 years on Kashmir and on Pakistan's foreign policy issues linked with Afghanistan, that was rarely witnessed in Pakistan. It was more offensive, and that was something which was badly needed, because unfortunately the Kashmir cause and Pakistan's foreign policy was lying in the back doors during Nawaz Sharif governments and People's Party's government. I think the credit does go to the Prime Minister. His speech in the UN Security Council and his interviews, he has spoken against India, Hindutva ideology. And I think that made so many international news channels to go for more and more interviews of the Prime Minister. And more particularly, this issue was raised. But at the end of the day, internationally, the big powers make their calculation on the basis of their political interest, their economic interest. The speeches do not matter much in a broader picture.
But you're saying that even internationally speaking, if it doesn't matter so much nationally, as far as the AJK election is concerned, people are happy in the way that the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, the issue of Kashmir overall, has been, championed by this government, and that also will be one of the reasons that they will support this government in the
I think
elections.
to begin with, when Prime Minister Imran Khan raised this issue in UN Security Council, people on both sides of the divide were very, very happy. And they were expecting that something big would happen. Pakistan would materially bring some change in the Indian part of Kashmir. But I think over the course of time, and particularly also it is in the context of that our top military leader making statement that we will fight till the last blood, our blood against India on Kashmir. I think there is an element of disappointment among people with the Pakistan's leadership, because the kind of the political rhetoric that we came up with, the way we launched a protest campaign, and then all of a sudden there was a talk of backdoor dealing, and then at one point of time Pakistan announced to start trade, and then it was reversed, and practically we haven't done anything on Indian disputed Kashmir region. That brought a sense of disappointment and disillusionment among Kashmiris, not specifically to this current leadership, but generally about Pakistan's political parties. Let's be fair to everything. To begin with, they should not have raised the Kashmiris' expectation to a point where they cannot match the geostrategic realities on the ground. And after when 2 years passed, the people were expecting something material would happen. And initially we created an impression that as if we can militarily intervene in the Indian part of the Kashmir. That was not possible. So I think the unrealistic expectations of the Kashmiris should not have been raised, and I don't think that would be a rallying point for people in Azad Kashmir to vote for the PTI. These would be the local realities which would be dominating to cast vote in favor of the PTI.
Ji, Waqas Sahab, I think that we've talked about this. You also seem to think and agree that it is the local realities that will be prevalent, that will be paramount as far as the reason being, in terms of the reasons for the Kashmiris to vote for the PTI.
Yeah, just one point on Kashmir, particularly when we talk about raising Kashmir internationally. On that, there is no denial that this government has been doing. Prime Minister himself did at many international forums. But let's not forget that something very serious and unprecedented happened on 5th of August, which never happened in past 70 years. It literally had changed the dynamics, political, strategic, geographically, and on all scales. So I guess there was an expectation, and there is still an expectation of taking some big initiatives at diplomatic front and other fronts. Particularly, we need to understand that the entire situation has changed, and it changed dramatically. And we also need to see that the demographic changes, the overall structural changes, the changes on governance pattern, the changes on Article 35A, land rights, and all other things. These all things are happening post 5th of August. It didn't stop. So we need to understand that it's not only about championing this, but also need to tackle this, and how to see that how we can create and navigate and create a space for the people of Jammu and Kashmir to not suffer from this entire bigger plan of converting of a demographic change and other things. So I guess that was required. Because one thing we need to understand that Pakistan's political parties, what we expect, I guess, and larger people are thinking that the gravity and if you see the nature of issue was so big after 5th of August, that I guess there has to be a unanimous sort of action. There should have been something consensus among political parties to move forward to create certain interventions. Nobody is against the dialogue. Nobody is saying. I mean, if the dialogue can work and
You're
create
saying
spaces
that
for
you're
Kashmiris,
saying more should have been
can
done. You're saying across the board political parties should have done more for the Kashmiri cause. I don't think anybody disagrees with that on principle.
yeah, but just one thing, that there was a need of taking more robust initiatives from political parties, but and the civic actors of Pakistan, that was not there. So let's admit that it didn't materialize the way it was envisioned, and
Thank
maybe
you
in
so
future
much for
it could
joining
have
us
been
today.
more. I mean,
Ahmed Jawad
this is a
Saab, thank
political
you for
question,
being with us.
Kashmir.
Javed Rana Saab, thank you for joining us. Dr. Waqas Ali Kausar, thank you for being with us. As far as the issue of Kashmir is concerned, of course, we've seen, I think there is an overall opinion that the way that the Kashmiri cause has been championed, taken up by this government has not been done before. Whether that narrative actually resonates with the people of Azad Jammu and Kashmir, of course we'll know tomorrow, or whether it is the local realities that are paramount as far as their consideration for voting for any political party is concerned, of course remains to be seen. We'll know tomorrow, but certainly it seems that at this time, of course, PTI, the government of the day, is in a better position than the other opposition parties. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us today on Perspective.